server racks to help people to conduct the searches. Yeah. So when I came to Google, I realized that what the company needed were people who are engineers who could talk to customers as well. And then I happen to like both. I like to be an engineer, and I also like to work with people. So I moved into a career that where I focused most of my time to developing technology alliances with other companies. So I'm here to learn as much as I can about what you do, about user behavior and the market in Vietnam. And then we are also meeting with some of our customers and partners as well. So that's what I do. So my title at Google is, I think it's Vice President of Partnership Technology. So if you use LinkedIn, and you can look me up, it's Meagan Pi, Meagan, last name is Pi, P-I. So today, I would like to share some of my personal views of technology, the future of technology. I would like to share some of my personal experience, what I've seen that worked for companies when you want to start a company like what you are doing, how to grow your company. Okay, so Google Cloud. So there are a few companies that are building something called the cloud technology. So let me give you an example. So when I started my first job, I worked in a startup, and it was 10 people. Everybody did everything. I'm sure you're familiar with that. I remember going to buy computers, buy network cable, buy racks, and you have to actually spend time to put the machines together, put a server for engineers to have a software development environment. You also have to figure out how to do backups. Any network engineers here? Do we have engineers here? Okay. IT engineers here? Yeah? So you know what I'm talking about. Like you actually have to spend time to put the infrastructure together. So usually you would have to spend a lot of time to figuring out how to build the network, the server, the capacity. When we started a company, I remember we spent at least about 3 months to put things together for our company to really have everything like for our users and customers and for our engineers and for our logging and use data. And so today, when you start your company, how many of you have done that? Do you do that? Do you still buy machines to do that? No? Do you use the cloud? Yeah?
Yes.
Which cloud do you use?
Use Microsoft Cloud.
Okay. You use Google Cloud, Microsoft, and Amazon. Anybody use Amazon Cloud? Okay. So IT industry throughout the world, and it's a market that's over $1 trillion US. So that market will be going under a huge amount of change in the next decade. So nobody today will be starting a business or doing what I just described. This is why cloud technology is going to be the future in the next 10 years. So that's number one. So number two that I want to talk about is, so I see that you have Mark Zuckerberg's quote here, and Peter Thiel. And Zuckerberg is creating a company actually is very different from Google. It's neither right or wrong. It's a belief. It's like a religion. It's a different belief system. So at Google and myself, I happen to believe the open internet is a lot more healthy than an enclosed system. We had this discussion this morning in the car. Because if you have just one system on the internet, all of us cannot innovate. We need to have an open ecosystem. Each one of your ideas can flourish. So one of the things that I'm passionate about is to making sure that the ecosystem is continue to be healthy. So 10 years ago, nobody has heard of mobile apps. Today, each one of you, when you create a company, the very first thing you are thinking about is how am I going to create an app? That's good. However, mobile web is also extremely important as well. Many of you may not have thought about how to create a mobile web experience just as good, as engaging as your app. So there are many technologies that you can use today to create a mobile web just as fast, just as interactive and engaging as a mobile app. There is a technology you can look up called progressive web apps. This is something that you can think about how you can create. And so with both app and the mobile web, you can engage your users very differently. You can reach to your users very differently. But the traditional web development is no longer going to work for you. So that's the second one. The third thing is machine learning. I know that I just came from Hong Kong before this trip and I met some of my friends and business associates from China as well. So machine learning is on fire in China. There was a few months ago, there was a Google Go game contest called AlphaGo game. Yeah. So the machine learning today is amazing. The technology that each of the companies that have already developed. So the future is already here. So I'll give you some example. So how many people use Google search? What do you search on Google? What do you search? Anybody?
Yes. What do you search on Google?
I search about the information where Google and the math knowledge or IT information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Who else? What do you search?
I search everything from Google. And when I have problem, I don't know the method to resolve my problem. I search on Google.
Okay.
And I search the knowledge in that website at the places.
Okay. So like what he said, I search as well. So when I search, for instance, I have 2 children. My son is 12 years old. He plays competitive soccer. He has a knee injury right now. So today, when I have to schedule an appointment for my son with his doctor, I'll have to call the clinic and to get them on the phone, to find the availability of the doctor, to find the availability of my son, find the availability of myself or my nanny, and to figure out how to schedule an appointment. So the future of AI is so advanced today that in the near future, I will be able to say, Google, could you book an appointment for my son's knee injury? Google will say, would you like me to book an appointment with Mr. Thomas? So I'll say, please. And Google say, would the Tuesday 5 p.m. work for you? I said, no. Google should say, how about Friday 3 p.m.? I said, yes, go ahead and book it. That should happen. That's already happening in our lab. That will happen very soon for everybody. Because we search for information. Sometimes we also need Google to help us to actually to be our service agent for us. So that's an example of the AI. Obviously, you have read many things about the application of machine learning and AI. So that's something that you could think about how AI and how machine learning can be applied to your ideas. So that's on technology. So customer outreach. So each one of you have an idea, have an app, have a company, already have users, hopefully. Some of you may even have paying customers. So there are a few things that I think it's worked for us, for me, in my experience working in the past few decades in technology companies. So number one is that when you host a customer user event, it's important that you focus on your topic, on the niche you have. Some of you are building educational technology apps. Use that as a topic to draw your customers. Focus on what you're trying to solve to engage your customers. Don't just hold a sales event to talk about how good your customer, how good your revenue is, how good your products are, but try really hard to engage your customers on potentially actual problems you're trying to solve and show them what you're thinking about, how to create your niche area that you're very good at and that you're very passionate about. So that's on events. So once you have customers and users, one of the important things to do is that you want to know what your customers and users are thinking about your customer service, your sales engagements, and your product quality. How do you do that? You have to have the pulse every single day. So customer survey is very important to ask the right questions, to design the right questions, to design how you hold your users without annoying them. If I get 10 different surveys from the same product I use it every day, I'm not going to use the product anymore. But if I use a product it's so much, sometimes I get a very simple survey that I can give feedback to, that I hope the products that I'm using, I'm going to fill out the survey. So you want to make sure that you have that you have information every single day you can look at, that what your customers are thinking about your service, what your customers are thinking about your products. You don't need to have the perfect product to have happy customers. None of us, not even Google, have the perfect product. So we're in the environment, as you know, we fail fast and fail early. We celebrate both failure and success. And we know the innovation cycle of iteration and innovation. So you want to make sure that your customers love you despite your product flaw. However, you also want to make sure that you keep innovating, keep improving your products, using the pulse from your users to improve your products. Without the products, the good product for your customers, you're not going to have a business. But without the right staff, without the right salespeople, the right customer support, and your customers are going to leave you, even if you have the best products. So that's on transactional customer satisfaction. The third thing is something that we do. We have been iterating in the past 10 years, which is an annual customer survey with the most important customers of Google. So the annual customer survey is very different from asking the question do you like this feature I just developed? Do you like how I answered your question? Do you like how salespeople pitch the product to you? That's not the kind of information we'll be getting back. That's not the kind of questions we'll be asking. The questions we'll be asking is that are we trusted advisor for you in your business? So there are two different kinds of people you will be meeting when you are asking people that question. The type of customers that may not even have a lot of business with you today, but they're important for you. You want them to think about you when they want to consider your product. And in the future, when this company, they're important to you because for good reason, because they could be a future customer. They may not be ready today. When they're ready, you want them to think about you rather than your next competitor. So that's really important. Have that relationship, despite of whether they are high-paying customer or not. So another thing is that you want these people. So there's an English saying: people don't remember what you do. They will always remember how you made them feel. So this is a survey, this is an engagement. You want to make sure people feel that you are trustworthy, you are there for them. Even if your current company fails, if you move on to the next company, they'll remember you. They're not going to remember that how you failed in your last adventure. They will follow you as a trusted advisor. So these are the customer outreach lessons I have learned. I hope that was useful. So the third one is about leadership and managing the team. So the three things that I will cover. So you may have heard people say, which is being a manager is a job. Being a leader is something you have to earn. In today's environment, maybe in our parents' generation, being a manager is a boss, is a leader, because you're the only decision maker. It's today, if you think about the companies you work in, the companies you're leading, that's no longer true. You may be the founder, you may be the co-founder, you may be the head of marketing, sales, and head of engineering in your startup community. It does not mean that people respect you because of the title. So it's really important to differentiate that, to earn the respect. And how to earn the respect, everybody has a different story. We can go into that a little bit in the Q&A. So that's number one. Number two is visioning exercise. Each one of you are very hungry. I can tell from the way you are engaged and the way you were doing the pitches and you were talking to each other. You have a vision. You have an idea. You have a burning idea, and you have a burning ambition to want to be successful. Is it enough to have that vision in your head? No. You want to make sure that even if it's this is a trick. Even if this is the right vision for you, you have the idea. You know that's the right idea. When you have a team of people, you may only have 5 people, you may have 10 people, next year you may have 20 people, next year, the year after you may have 100 people. There's a saying called that everybody likes to change, especially in our circle. Nobody likes to do the same thing for 10 years. We all want to change, but no one wants to be changed. So think about that. Think about yourself. Do you want the people to tell you that tomorrow that I want you to abandon every single thing you do today? I want you to do something different, and you don't get to ask why. Are you going to be happy? So this is the same thing for your employees and for your team. So you want to make sure that this is a trick. You may have the right idea, but you want to make it think that it's their idea. How do you make that happen? It's both the art and the science. It takes time, but I think it's very worth the time spent when you do that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is that do you do one-on-one meetings? Yeah, one-on-one meetings, and so most people do one-on-ones. You spend actually probably the higher up you go in your company, the more time you spend on one-on-ones. On my calendar, I probably spend a good 60% of my time on one-on-ones. So if you spend so much time on one-on-ones, should you think about how you should spend the time to have a very productive conversation that's both beneficial for the person you're speaking to and for yourself? So this is what I've learned in the past many years how to have good one-on-ones. So I tell people who have one-on-ones with me, I do the same for the people who are my bosses So there are 4 things I do. One is that you tell people, teach me something. If you have something that's new, something that I should know, teach me. Use that time. Because it's so important that I should know to do my job, and it's so important for you to make me know that you know something, that use that time to teach me that. Number 2 is because I have the reason I have a position that's more senior than the person is because one of my jobs is to help you to solve the problems you have. So tell me the problem you cannot solve, and that's I help you. So that's number 2. So number 3 is to have the person you say that because these are people who see your work. These are people who are afraid to tell you, in most scenarios, afraid to tell you when you make a mistake. But these are the most valuable people you should listen to when you make a mistake. So I get a lot of reverse mentoring from my team when I say that, please tell me if you see that I have made a mistake. Please tell me that the things I should be doing that I'm not doing. Please tell me that the things I'm doing well, what I should be improving. So I've gained so much more information about how I can improve from my employees than anybody else. So those are the 3 things I do in my one-on-one. So
This is called the persuasion
the
skill.
vision exercise.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. This is why this is so important. I raise this as a topic. Like you want, it's also a important negotiation tactic as well. It works for recruiting as well. You want to make sure that you frame your ask and say like please like use this vision, this goal for your day-to-day work. Rather than saying that to be directive, the way I do it, I find it works is to frame the ask as a question. So you could say that how can we do such a so for instance, like how can we, so as team, I have to, so I'm doing this right now. So next year we're doing a complete like a reshuffle of our strategy. However, I'm not gonna be able to say, to my team of a few hundred people, say that this is our strategy next year, please follow me. It's not gonna work. So the way we do this is in 6 months leading to that communication. Even though that I know these are the strategy I have next year, I want to start engaging my team by asking a question, for instance, on optimize the mobile web. So I will show them the problems we have, show the facts, show the actual business problems, and nobody can dispute facts and data. And then you ask them, so like, I really need your help to help me to think about how we can solve this problem next year. And really listen to them. You have to spend time like to get their idea, to spend the time to whiteboard, do problem solving with them. Spend time in your office hour to listen to people. Even when you think this isn't, I see some of you are taking this, even when you think the idea is stupid, you have to listen to people. Because these are the people you want to make sure that they trust you. These are the people that you want to make sure that they know that you care about what they think, and not just to care about their time and resources and their skills. It's a long process for me. It takes me about 6 months to work with my team to get that right. And then depending on the size of your organization. So the first part is really important, to assemble the top management team. I'm sure you have the similar challenge as well for most of us. And the top management team under you, the most important thing is that you want to make sure that you trust them 100% and they trust you 100%. And then on top of that, you want them not only because they're qualified, they're skilled, and they're talented, you want all of them to be different from each other. You don't want to hire people who just be the same as you. You want to hire people who are different from you, but different from each other. So each one of them will always be challenging each other, challenging me when I have an idea. So by the time when you have the plan to engage the bigger team, that if you have something that's already pretty sound, it's been validated by your trusted top management team. So, does that help?
What if your team activity is different than yours? What if they go too far away from your ideas?
So this is what happens. Like, have you heard of that terminology, agree to disagree? So you don't want people to all agree with you. If you have a team that agree with you 100% all the time, you don't have the right team. You want people to disagree with you. At the end of the day, if you have different ideas, different thinking, but at the end of the day, guess what? People still need one leader to follow. They want somebody who can take the risk and say like, I know we have 3 different options to do something next year. I'm the leader. I've listened to all of you who have vetted through different options, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this risk. I need all of you to be with me. If you're not with me, that's okay. This may not be the right team for you. You're free to do something else. You don't want to say that way, but you want people who are with you in the company, who will be able to follow you, even though you are taking a risk to make a decision that's different from them. You cannot have a vision and direction that goes to 100 different directions, especially in a small startup. But when you're bigger, like Google, when you have a flourishment of many different ideas for every single product, this is causing some problems for us actually right now. We're trying to bring that back a little bit, but you don't have the luxury today when you have a small company.
Okay. Next question. Yeah, please.
Hi, I'm Meagan. I'm home and I'm part of the startup. My startup is located here.
That's great.
And I have a question outside the topic.
Yeah.
After .com bubble, we may reach mobile app bubble. When we reach over 1 million apps on App Store and on Android Store, Google Play also. So what do you think about the next future about technology? By VR or AR or something like that, so that the other startup can catch up the new trend of technology to go startup.
So,
The question is about the technology trend,
okay.
the vision. So, but give the idea for them to start business. Yeah.
If I have the answer to that question, we don't need all of you. I think I know. So what I'm actually not the best. Obviously I do advising to a lot of startup companies, but I think the top technology trend is definitely like I didn't mention one of them, which is media technology. Media and advertising technology is still it's not a solved problem. So even though Google is one of Google, Facebook, and Yahoo, Twitter, we all have some of the best ads and media technology. It's not a solved problem. So that's going to be an area. However, it's going to be very hard for small startups to do something extremely innovative or not soft and in technology, advertising technology. So that's why I didn't mention that one. We do see like a tremendous amount of innovation in advertising. For instance, Snapchat is amazing how they think about advertising the vertical video format and how they are doing news aggregation. I don't know how many people use Snapchat. You've heard about Snapchat?
Yes.
Of course. So in Snapchat, I don't actually, I'm so old that I don't understand the value of Snapchat, but I'd like to see what they're doing with the media and advertising technology. It's amazing. That's not something I wish Google was that innovative in that area. I think they are really good. So, but my point is that ad tech is very hard to innovate. Maybe within Vietnamese market, there's still things to do. I'm meeting with a lot of companies like VNG, and we're talking about the ad tech tomorrow. So that's number one. I do think the cloud has created a SaaS. Do people understand SaaS?
Yes,
Software as a service. And so a lot of you probably have a SaaS company or idea or software without even realizing it. So SaaS is basically software that's built on top of cloud technology. I think a SaaS is a gold mine. Like traditional software services that's sitting on your desktop, it's all going to go away. And that's not a problem that big companies can solve. I don't think Google can solve that. I don't think it's our goal to solve for that. It's really all of you to solve for that. AI, I think AI is extremely exciting. So I didn't talk about, we touched this when we met, CRM is such a crappy industry. Like all the CRM software is so bad. Like they are making your customers and making your employees are very unhappy right now. Like I don't know what's the leading CRM software in Vietnam. Is it Salesforce? Do people use Salesforce? What do you use in here?
Okay,
CRM.
yeah, I'm from the founder from a company specializing in producing solar power products and also install solar projects.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have a question because I know you have 10 years experience in developing a CRM like Google, but I don't really know what the software, the CRM software of Google.
We don't have the CRM software. We don't develop CRM. But it's the reason I'm talking about this is because of that. There is no, for the Salesforce and Oracle and SAP.
We are using vTiger.
vTiger?
I already tried Vietnamese local vCRM, a lot of CRM software, but it takes a lot of time.
Yes.
Employees, and also for us, we have to input a lot of things.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So your products are so innovative, right? This is why you're building new products. It's much better than anything else in the market, and hopefully it's a needed area to really require some startup community to innovate. So you don't want your employees who are highly trained, highly skilled, in a highly competitive labor market to come into your company to use a software that they have to use every day to make their life miserable. If you have a very sad employee, your customers are going to be miserable too. So this is really important. And so that's another area I think it's really, go ahead, Keith.
So you think that a lot of change to...
Yeah, I think it's good that I'm actually really happy when you say that you don't use Salesforce, Oracle, and SAP, because once you have those large enterprise IT software already embedded in big banks and big, maybe I'm pretty sure big banks here probably use Oracle and Salesforce and SAP. But it's good that you don't hear about this, because once you have those software, it's very hard to move them off to nimbler and newer software. So anyway.
I have a question on CRM.
Yeah.
You're talking like Salesforce, and I also know Sugar CRM
Yes.
because I study inquiry.
Yeah, sure, I've heard of it.
So how do you think the Salesforce is very expensive? But I know the function is likely the same. So can you
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think T, you had some comments. Before I answer, you want to make sure.
My comment is the first startup choice I think is 3 years ago. Yeah, he wanted to provide CRM services to the SME.
Yeah.
Based on some open source. I forget the name, ORTS, something like that. But he failed to get the customer.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Can you have some comment about, not comment, but advice how to engage the customer?
So, right.
Yeah.
So when you create your startup right now, like it's likely you are actually supporting your first customer, right? In your email. So when you have maybe 1 customer, that's okay. 5 customers, that's okay. When you have 100 customers, that's not okay. To just use your email to track customer interaction. You cannot do a survey. You cannot track the product feedback, and you cannot track customer leads, lead generation, insights, business and BI stuff. So and revenue reporting, all that stuff. That's really important. So I think that there is something that needs to be done between AI, machine learning, and CRM. I would love for my employees not having to think about having to manually enter all the customer information into a software system. You are already working. You're working so hard on the vision exercise, on the product and development, the sales and marketing effort. You're already working hard. Why can't AI help you solve that problem? 80%, maybe so. For instance, you're on a customer call. Why can't you invite an AI assistant to be on the call, taking notes, tracking the information, send out meeting notes? That technology is already here. So machine learning, like an assistant, can take meeting notes much better than humans. We know that.
Alternatively, we have a startup here, namely called Buy, that
Okay.
comes from University of Information Technology. They work on exactly.
That's
how
great.
you mentioned. Yeah.
So that's one modality. You also, why can't you just invite this assistant to your email transaction, knowing exactly what's happened in your conversation? Like you ask a question. So what? So you want to, you may be the head of your company. You want to know that from your team that what's the revenue of this customer? Today, somebody will have to go into a very bad CRM reporting tool to find out the revenue before they can give to you. This person may be traveling. You may not get this information until the person is available, and then sometimes the software may not be accurate. Why can't an assistant be added to an email, give you the information right away? That's the technology is there. Somebody needs to create that. It's not going to be us. I think that's an area. I think it's and a chat. Why can't you just ask this machine learning? Yeah. So there are some.